Oh God, I can't sleep. Then it's time for you to come into the Insomnia Hour.
Watching you all, you're destined to fall. Don't you understand? The life that you choose could be lighting the fuse to the bomb in your hand. Desperate lives, stealing the prize. Morality dies from inside. News to the world, we're setting it all on fire. You'll get what you deserve, not what you desire. Day after day you throw it away and don't realize the gift that we gave didn't make you the slave you have come to despise. Destined to fail, our plans you derailed. The price you will pay is your life. News to the world, we're setting it all on fire. You'll get what you deserve, not what you desire. You took it all for granted, so we're taking it all away. You've had your fun, enjoy your last We had such high expectations, beauty as far as the eye could see, but you buried it away under greed and decay. What you want is what you want, and not what you need. Decadent lives, husbands and wives, with somebody else on the side. News to the world, we're
Welcome to another Insomnia Hour talk show, and I am Sasha George, your sensuous voice on the airway. And today we're going to be speaking with Gregory Boyce, a multi-instrumentalist extraordinaire. How you doing, Gregory?
I'm doing wonderful, Sasha. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, hey, gotta have a guy like you on.
Okay. Nice.
Well, yeah, I'm going in for the kill on that one.
Right away, yeah.
Right away, right. And you're an amazing person. Your genre is hard rock metal, and it's sometimes progressive, sometimes keeping it interesting and fun is what you state in your about.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys, a lot like you. You're juggling different genres with your books and stuff like that, and I'm kind of the same way. I have those times when I want to write something hard rock and aggressive, and there are other times when I want to do like something acoustic and lighter and something jazzy. And being a multi-instrumentalist kind of gives me the freedom to dance all over those genres. So it's really just whatever I feel, whatever comes out, comes out.
I agree. It's great to have a menu.
It
really
is, right? That's a good way of putting it. Absolutely.
It's like bon appetit, my friends. Eat hearty.
Yeah.
No, it's so interesting. And I discovered you on Facebook.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Yes, and it was something that really geeked me out, my producer side, the menu of my various genres. But it was through News to the World video. Now,
yes.
This video simply just screamed at me, and I pressed it, and I listened to it, and it is one of my, my first original songs that I really love about you. So, give me
fantastic.
You're welcome. So, just give me the journey of your life to what inspired you to make music, to where you're doing it consistently and now involving yourself with the technology of video and everything else.
Okay, well, let's start with that video that you saw, that News to the World video.
Mm-hmm.
That was done, I've gone through, and we'll go back and we'll talk about some of these. I didn't start doing albums in the hard rock genre.
No.
But this album was called Boyce. I just used my middle name for it. And for the hard rock stuff, I just used Boyce. I wrote a whole album. I just thought, because everyone says, you did this all yourself. You did the drums and the guitars and the bass and the vocals and keys and all. I said, yep, I do that. And they always want to see. So it's like, well, I should make a video. Just choose a song and do a video so that they can see me playing all these instruments and doing that. So I chose that song because it has a little bit of flamenco in there. It's got those acoustic guitars. It's hard rock. It's a good mixture. So I thought I'll use that song. And then what I did, I thought would be fun is, okay, now when I'm on the drums, I'm going to have a full beard. I'm going to have a full beard, and then
it suits you too,
right? And then when I switch over to the bass, I'm just going to shave it to where it's like a goatee, maybe, and then the singer will look different. I wanted to make each of my when I'm on the instruments, make it look different, so that I look different as the guitar player, I look different as the singer, as much as I could,
Oh, you were being inventive.
So, yeah,
good for
only
you.
So different you can look, but so that's what I did, and I actually had some people say, "Are you guys brothers?" And no.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so it was really fun to do, and I'm glad you saw that. I'm glad that's the first thing that you saw, because that's kind of what the impression I wanted to give people was, this is all me, but I can do different kinds of things. And
yeah, it shows that you're very inventive.
You're so kind. Thank you. But it was really fun, and I still use that video to this day to kind of introduce people to my music. I think it helps a little bit.
I think it does. I think you should do more videos.
Now,
you have a lot of audio. You do. It just I would.
I do. I have a ton of music recorded. It's unbelievable. But
it just shows you're passionate.
It is. Yeah, I am. I love making music. There are pictures of me as like 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old with guitars, with drums. Started early. My parents bought me toys, and they happened to just buy me an instrument, and I went right to the instrument. And so they're like, okay, next year for his birthday, we'll give him this, and yeah, by the time I was 12, I was writing my own songs, had my own bands, and going out there and playing live, and I just loved it. I just absolutely loved it, and loved all different kinds of music too.
I think you have to.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to just be stuck in one genre. Life becomes a little boring and tedious. You want different music for different times, and I love the 70s. I love the 80s. I love the 90s. I you know, all this music, the 60s, and just everything. Every decade had so much to offer.
I can hear that in your song, Listen to Your Heart.
Yeah.
You can hear that decade in that, definitely.
Absolutely. So that's kind of where I am. I started off, the very first album I did was called The Brass Giraffe, and it was all acoustic rock. It's very 70s. It kind of sounds like if you took Paul Simon and the Eagles and Little River Band and those kind of bands and put them all together.
Yes, and I appreciate your acoustics. I mean, you can tell you value. Yeah.
I just love that sound, you know. And you know, I have Hispanic blood in me, so a lot of those songs come out with a little bit of a Spanish flair to it, you know, a little flamenco in there. And
nothing
I
wrong with
that. Yeah, I love it. It sounds just full of passion, you know. And so I did 2 albums that way, the acoustic rock kind of stuff like that. And then I had some of my musician friends say, you're not really showing what you can do. I'm like, oh, well, I was supposed to. Okay.
Get in your corner and do it better, boy.
Yeah, come on, show your stuff. So I went, okay, and I did. I wrote an album called Home, and it's jazz fusion, progressive, a lot of improvised stuff, and go for what you know kind of a thing. And I just spilled out everything, and that was really fun.
So you spelled it like you said it. That was really great.
Yeah, and so that was a fun thing to do. And that, you know, that album is kind of funny. It's definitely not for everybody. I always know the musician-y kind of people to show that to, and you know, if I just showed it to, you know, an average guys at the store, you know, hey, you do music, and I showed them that, they'd be like, whoa, I don't get that at all, you know. Yeah.
We got to keep them on their toes.
Yeah. But then right after that album, I am a hard rock kid. I loved Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and Scorpions and all those bands in the early 80s, and saw my first concert when I was 13. It was Triumph.
Oh, wow.
And, I was into all that stuff. And
my first concert was when I was 33. I feel late.
Yeah, what happened there?
I was being too creative. No, I was just being too creative in books.
Well, see, that's good. That's good. You were using that, having passion to write and all that stuff. That's great. That's great.
So continue.
So I realized, okay, I have 3 albums out now, and none of it is hard rock, and so I figured, well, it's time to maybe
it's about
do
time.
One. Yeah. So I did Boyce, the Boyce 1 album, and I shopped that around to different record companies and stuff like that. I was really getting serious about the music business, and but, you know, being a one-man band, there's not too many labels that are going to want to pick you up, you know.
Actually, you know, I mean, Bass did well, and so did 9 Inch Nails.
Right, there are a couple, and that's kind of where I kind of sent them to, is people like that had done it before, have set a precedent for it. So, yeah, but they said, you know, we've looked you up online, and at the time I didn't even have a website. I was like, oh, maybe that's a good idea.
Oh,
okay, I see how it goes. You want like a following? That should be good, right? So, but, you know, I learn as I go. That's what I do, you know.
Yes.
But so then I did the Boyce 2 album after that, and that started to get more of a following. I was starting to get a little bit more involved with the side of it to get it out there. You know, that's for me, publicity and all that stuff. That's hard for me to do. You know,
well, it's hard when you're a one-man band trying to do the product and then trying to do the administrative side. It's hard.
It really is. Yeah, it's not my thing. I'm not a very good self-promoter, you know, and I tend to be kind of more on the shy side, so it's really not good, you know, for a musician. You really need to be kind of an extrovert and stuff like that. But I'm working on that too. It's that working, you know, learning as you're going kind of a thing. But
I think that you're doing good so far. I mean, it pulled me in.
Yeah, it's getting there. People are finding out about me little by little, and I'm having
not
fun.
Not that I'm the most important person, but I like to feel
you
that.
You are. It's why I'm on, and I got to go on Sasha's show. So
yay!
Yeah, I'm really glad to be on here because you're a tremendously creative person yourself. I've been following you, and then you've been following me, so it's actually nice to be on here finally. So this is great. Having a good time.
Is this where we start singing Friends, a duet?
Let's do
it. Forever.
Oh, I like that. That's nice. Good start.
Right? Right. So tell me about the feedback that you've been getting now in the growth of are there people more following your metal? Or are they more in your passionate? Or are they just all around loving you?
You know, I got to tell you a story. When I first released the first Boyce album, it's hard rock, metal, I guess you could call it. It's melodic, so a lot of people say, it's a little too, melodic.
I love that word, melodic.
Yeah, well, I like melody too. I love the aggressive. I love that, just really aggressive music, but it's the melody that keeps me there. So that's what I tend to go for when I'm recording. I want that chorus. I want people to remember the song. I want them to be humming it later when they're walking down the street or whatever. But I released this album, and it did have some progressive elements. When I first released it, I don't know how it happened, Norway became a fan base really quickly.
No.
Yeah.
Well, they do. I agree. Norway.
Very strange. I was like, wow. And that's the wonders of the Internet, You put it out there, and you just don't know who's going to take to it. And then I found out there was a fan club, a Boyce fan club in Norway. So I figured, well, I got to figure out what that's about. So I ended up going in there and then talking to these Norwegians. They were all teenagers. They were all like from even younger, like from 10 years old.
I'm Norwegian. Thank you.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, it was really funny because I started talking to them, and they would start to use like like in Spanglish, it's Spanish and English, and I don't know what you would call that with Norwegian, but they'd start using their language with English. So I was starting to pick it up. I don't know the pronunciations, but I was starting to actually write in some Norwegian, and it was so fun. But I waited way too long in between albums, so I think I lost all of them by the time the next one came out. They were already grown.
Damn.
But that was an interesting thing for me to see. Wow, and even Argentina, they picked up on that little flamenco bit,
But Argentina is such a romantic place. It really is.
And a lot of the songs I had that acoustic in there, and they love that. So.
Yeah, who doesn't want to dance to your music?
Nice. That was an interesting thing that I wasn't internet savvy, and so just watching it kind of take off to different regions was really fun. I kept thinking, wow, now I'm on the radio in Norway. I'm on the radio in Argentina. I can't even get on the radio in my hometown.
You're like, damn.
Yeah.
But it's different, though, especially in your own town because you're just living the mundane life, so it's really hard to promote yourself. But worldly, you can be the greatest thing.
Yeah, it's really amazing, and it kind of happens organically. People start telling other people, and you just kind of watch it, and it's pretty amazing. So.
But I did tear you away from after your third album. Oops. So how about your fourth and your fifth?
No, but that's the fun part of it is like the first couple albums I did were acoustic, and the third one was the fusion one, and now I'm doing these Boyce ones that are heavy. But at the same time, I'm kind of like you. I know that right now you're juggling like 4 or 5 books right now. You got
Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so when I'm up there writing songs, you know, I'm right in the middle of Boyce 3, which is another heavy hard rock album. But
oh, wow.
I'll get these ideas coming to me that are more along the lines of acoustic, and it's like, okay, so I'm setting aside some things for maybe another acoustic album's going to be after this, and I'm looking forward to that. It's like I need to bounce around. I need to bounce around genres to make myself happy. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah,
I think everybody has a mood that they need, and if you're able to touch a depression, a love, life, pain, anger, I think if you as an artist can key that in all influences, I mean, you got it. You truly got it.
I totally agree, because those are all true emotions that people feel daily, you know, and if you can tap that into your songwriting or into your books or your novels, someone is going to relate to that. You're going to hit them right where, you know,
it counts.
Exactly, yeah, so...
it's not the kahuna people. That's not what we're saying.
Well, there too sometimes. Yeah.
That's the pain genre.
Right?
Good, sock it to you.
But you know, John Cougar had that song "Hurt So Good," so some people like that. You know?
Yes, they do.
Kick me there one more time. Yeah.
I guess that's tapping into a fetish. Maybe later, huh, Gregory?
Well,
so
hey, it's the Insomnia Hour. It's late. We can talk about that.
Absolutely. Randomness is what we're made for.
That's right.
Insomnia Intermission.
Like you're a shadow, your morale is setting so low, and your only direction's down. Well, you know that it's a shit show, and you're sitting in the front row. Take cover when it starts to cry, and everyone takes a little piece of you. Every single day till there ain't much left. And when you feel you're losing the fight, you lit the fuse to your own dynamite. Don't even have the strength to fall apart. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. So now you're staring at the ceiling. Your alarm clock is ringing, but you just don't wanna face the day. 'Cause you know that it's a shit show. You got a ticket for the front row. You turn away when it starts to cry, and everyone takes a little piece of you. Like parasites eating you right to the bone. And when you can't take anymore, can't find a way to even the score, don't even have strength to fall apart. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart when nobody else will. Listen to your heart. Your life's at a standstill. Listen to your heart. You can't takes a little piece of you. Every single day till there ain't much left. And when you feel you're losing the fight, you lit the fuse to your own dynamite. Don't even have strength to fall apart. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart when nobody else will. Listen to your heart. Your life's at a standstill. Listen to your heart. You can't begin until you start. Listen to your heart.
So you produced all these music,
Yeah.
and truly your goal is to do it for just because? Do you want to aspire to a greater purpose,
Good question.
touring?
I have been in bands before, and I'm one of those never say never guys. It could happen again. But when you're in a band, you are basically logged into one genre. You are a rock band, or you are a metal band, or you are. Very rarely do you hear a band go off in other directions. There were some great bands, some of my favorite, like Queen and stuff like that had the freedom. They would go off on different genres and allow that. But most of the time, everyone kind of stays in their genre. But if there was a call for it, and there seems to be a little bit more now with the Boyce, with the heavy stuff.
Yeah.
I could put a band together and get out there and have fun with it. I'm a never say never
Yeah,
guy.
but you know what they always say is think outside the box. Queen did not become the innovator. They wouldn't have done anything. I mean, like everybody used to tell me, my mom, she would always complain, you'll never get it. You'll never sell a book because you can't speak plainly. You know what I mean? They're working.
Yeah, that's
clearly.
True. You have to stay true to yourself. Yeah.
Yes, and I think that's the direction you need to do, is think outside the box. And even if you pre-record your music and all you're doing is the one man on the stage singing to the instrumental that you created behind you.
Absolutely.
It's possible, because that's what Vast and Nine Inch Nails did.
Yeah.
It just have like visuals.
I know, right? Yeah. It's
of
very
yourself
true.
playing. Yes,
Yeah.
it is plausible. You just got to be inventive.
Exactly. See, I need your help.
Help granted. Level
Nice.
up, sir. So now that we're on a direction of possibly, a later on date of your touring, you did state, or at least I read, I could be wrong, is you're working on a current album, a new one.
Yeah. I've got the Boyce 3. It's about halfway there.
Mm-hmm.
And this album's coming out a little bit more raw, a little less polished. I don't know what that is. It's rock, it's hard rock, it's always going to be aggressive, but this is a little different for me. It's sounding. The only thing I can come up with is raw. It's I can't wait to show you some of it. Is
it based on a story? Is it themed, or is it just various emotions? Or
it's all over the board. It really
okay.
is. Yeah, and that's one thing that I tend to do is be all over the board. Because
we're doing the tango with you, I see.
Let's do it. Yeah. Yeah, because I will bounce around. I'll have this idea of like a hard rock, heavy metal, kind of a David Bowie kind of a feel, or the Cars or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll go in and I'll do that.
Keep going.
Yeah, and I'll be like, oh, I love that. And then the next thing that I write will be like Iron Maiden or something. It'll just be, totally different, but, still hard rock, but all over the board. And I do kind of like that, because when you put in a Boyce album, song 1 is not going to sound like song 2, and it's not going to sound like song 3, and so forth and so forth. I want every song to be a total different entity, and still have that cohesiveness that makes it an album, but I love the difference in songs.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes back to Queen. You put on a Queen album, and every song on that album is going to be a little different. It's just the way they were. It just seems to be the way that I am as well. So I go with it. I just go with that.
Now, have you thought outside the box of just writing albums? Like, have you considered writing a score for a movie or submitting that?
I find that fascinating. I think that would be so interesting to do.
I think so too.
And challenging, and all that. All these songs that I do too. I would love if someone picked it up for a movie or something like that. I need to look into doing that as well. And I know that.
What about an independent movie?
Absolutely, that would be fantastic. Yeah, and so that's another angle that I can go. It's the freedom that I have, and then I should start to use it, use that freedom.
Be free, Gregory. Be free.
Thank you. I feel freed now.
So I think it's safe to say your innovation is incredible. I'm going to be playing some of your music, and I think people will understand what you're coming from on this show. And
nice.
Is there, anybody you want to say thank you to, and that's also helped you inspire you? I mean, clearly your mom.
Right. She's a big part of my life. She really is. She was the one that took me to my first concert when I was 13, and continue to take me to concerts. As a matter of fact, my wife and I just took her to a concert not too long ago. So,
there you go.
Family.
Now, is your wife supportive with you on this?
Absolutely, absolutely. As a matter of fact, if I'm upstairs and I've got my guitar and I'm coming up with an idea, and I think I got a good one, I'll just come running downstairs with the guitar. Okay, what do you think of this? And I'll start playing something, And if the reaction is good, I think I got something there,
You got to have that support system. You really, truthfully do. And if you don't, you start to feel less than like you're accomplishing something.
Right.
It's like having a hug.
Exactly. A little emotional hug.
It's true. It's true. Because it was a proven factor that if you can, people who do not just get a simple hug, they perish.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that's what musicians like yourself do. Like your song. I'm going to continue to revert to this one because it is my favorite one, and it's "Listen to Your Heart." And I think it has such a value story in a lot of people's life that have felt that they've tried, and every time they try, they give a little bit of themselves out.
Exactly.
And I think that's what you're good. Yeah, Absolutely. But you're gifted in that story of life. And I don't know who's touched you in your life to make you know a factual situation.
A lot of it comes from watching my kids and just different people that I know, my friends, and they go through situations that we all go through. They have pain that they go through and setbacks and stuff like that, and how they deal with them. And those always seem to inspire me to write. And and I wish it wasn't, I wish it was the positive things, but it's always the setbacks and how people deal with them is what inspires me. But that seems to be of the subject matter a lot lately.
Right.
But,
and I think it's a good subject matter because if you do not put that value lesson out there, nobody will learn, or maybe somebody just needs that song to make them cry to feel better.
Yeah, and I do try to do that, with all these songs about hardship and stuff. I do tend to try to make it so it has a positive ending, that there's always hope. I'm always trying to put hope in all the songs, too.
I can definitely tell that. And if anybody watches you, like I do on your Facebook page, you are a humorous person. You involve people
right?
in little, you're, it's like you have this gifted side to you, but then you have this other side to you, and you're like, whoa, that's way out there. Where did he come up with that?
Voted most likely to be a goofball,
And people need to see that side.
I do enjoy making people laugh. That's a fun thing for me.
I love seeing your fans respond to that. It's phenomenal. phenomenal.
That's awesome. You know, going back to that song, Listen to Your Heart, I want to thank you so much for the artwork and the graphics on that song. If you go to YouTube and type up Boyce, Listen to Your Heart, the picture that's going to pop up, Sasha did. So you got to see that. It's awesome.
Yeah, it was definitely a picture that described.
It was perfect.
Yeah, especially in the technological age. A lot of people
Exactly.
are long distance and they're using their phone to still try to be connected, and
yep,
you just
that's
lose
right.
yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. You did a great job on that. I think you captured what the song is all about. It was fantastic.
I know, we need to do more.
Oh, let's do it. Yep,
Let's
absolutely.
do it.
I'm actually going in, the next time I have studio time is February 29th, which I find fascinating in itself because there's only a February 29th every 4 years. So I'm thinking I might even write something about that and have the song maybe be called February 29th or Leap Year or something like that. Haven't figured it out yet, but when I do, I'm coming to you for the graphics. So we'll get that done.
Thank you. I accept. Where do I sign?
Well, I'm very appreciative. Thank you. So,
yeah. Well, is there anything else you would like to conclude in this interview that, you know, people might like to understand about you and your soul and your music?
That's deep.
Let me cut it again. Give me your wrist.
I am passionate about my music. I pour everything that I've got into these songs. And for the people who don't know my music, everything that you hear on there is me. The drums are played by me, guitars, bass, vocals, keys. Everything is played by me, and it comes out the way that I hear it in my head, or I will not release it. You know,
right?
I'm pretty picky, but I'm very passionate about the music. So I'd love you all to go check it out. Sasha actually brought it to my attention that my website is down at the moment, so don't go there.
Can they email you and contact you if they want?
Absolutely, and the best place to go is on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, look up Boyce, Boyce, and there are ways that you can get the music, you can find the music, videos, and how to reach me on there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Gregory. We're going to
thank
play
you,
some
Sasha.
songs. We'll drop those links so everybody, if they're not listening to the audio and they're online, they can actually see the links as well. So, but listen to this guy. He is so phenomenal. Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you very much, Sasha.
There's a sad sort of clanging from the clock in the hall, and the bells in the steeple too. And up in the nursery an absurd little bird is popping out to say cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. Regretfully they tell us, but firmly they compel us to say goodbye to